Good evening, Patriots, and welcome to the Raw Feed. I'm Gary Franchi, and what you're about to witness isn't just another newscast. It's a direct line to the stories they're desperately trying to keep from you. And tonight, just 17 days before Donald Trump's historic return to the White House, we're bringing you developments that will shake you to your core. But first, let me be clear about something. This isn't just a broadcast, it's a movement. We're streaming live right now to millions worldwide on YouTube, Rumble, and X, and I need you to help us bypass their algorithms. Take out your phone right now and text this link to everyone who needs to hear the truth. They can't silence one voice, but they can silence one voice, but they can't silence millions. Tonight's revelations are staggering. We've obtained the Cybertruck bomber's manifesto, and what it contains about advanced technology and government secrets will change everything you thought you knew about our national security. We're also bringing you crucial updates on the devastating terror attacks in New Orleans, 15 Americans now dead, and we now know basic security measures were completely ignored. Why? Well, we're going to tell you, but that's not all. The deep state is making one final desperate move against President Trump, scheduling a politically motivated sentencing just days before his inauguration. Meanwhile, Mexico has already begun capitulating to Trump's immigration policies, and Mike Johnson has secured his position as Speaker with Trump's backing. The global chess pieces are moving, folks, and we are watching it all unfold. And for those of you joining us on YouTube, your super chats will be featured on screen between segments. Rumble viewers will also be reading your Rumble rants, and your voice matters in this conversation, and we want to hear from you. In fact, we've just launched our YouTube channel memberships with exclusive perks. Supporters get special acknowledgement in the chat and unprecedented access to the next news team. Speaking of support, we need to be honest here. This kind of independent journalism isn't free, and we're facing unprecedented attempts to silence us. If you value what we do, please consider supporting us through the donation links in the description. Every dollar helps keep bringing you the truth they don't want you to hear. And for those who want to wear their patriotism proudly, our merch shop at nextnewsnetwork.com has just dropped an exclusive limited edition Mag Avengers collection. It's not just merchandise, it's a statement that you stand with real news. Now, buckle up, because we're about to share will challenge everything that you think you know about what's really happening in America. The deep state is scrambling, global powers are shifting, and we are here to show you exactly why. So stay tuned, Patriots. This is the Raw Feed, and we are just getting started. Now let's welcome you to the show. We got Resto Guy and Jackie and Smoochy. We got Vicky, KMC Gee 83634 is in the house as well. A couple super chats just came in. Let's take a look on this Friday night. F. Joe Biden, how you doing, Gary? I'm doing good. Thanks for the $2 in the Alex Jones was right jar. Another F. Joe Biden, $5. He's asking the question: do you think the manifesto in regards to the war crimes will fall on Trump? Just wondering. Well, it wasn't during his time, so we're going to find out soon enough. And Chris Turner here, $4.99. Hey, Gary, longtime watcher, first time commenting. Happy New Year. Thank you for all you do. Thank you, Chris. We're already up at $11.99 in Super Chats. What are we going to hit tonight? Let's see who else is in the house tonight. Let's see. We got Sure You in the house and James Snowden. We've got Gen X, Save My Republic, D. Van Bibber. In Texas, Derek Martin is here as well. Imagination Doctor, what's up? Good to see you driving around the car and listening. Great to have you in the house tonight. Belinda Sams is here. Pothead Kenny, Deborah Fox. We've got Adam Bush, Gilar Solis, Joshua Simpson in Michigan. Thinking Impaired, thumbs up, and 3 for the win. All right. Italian Goddess is here. Oh, I love that. That's so great. Italian Goddess. I love my Italian goddesses. But my Greek goddess, she's got you beat. Sorry. Then we got Dave Wallenberg here. Who else is in the house? We've got Arnold Schmidt. What's up, Arnold, Sabrina, and Kirk, and the Rumblebot and Wheels. My name didn't show up. Well, you just got shouted out. How's that? Is that good enough? Who else is in the house? A Day with David, SLM, Nana Berta's Song, Ball Beer Fish, Christopher Treglone, F. Joe Biden in Michigan, Richard Lee, Christopher, who else is in the house? Come on. And Jeremy and William and Scott in San Diego. What's up? We got Erie Sunset, Roxy Carmichael. Roxy is in the house. We've got Chad 8532 in the house. UN33K in Virginia. Maria is here. What's up? Sending a hug. We've got Parmas. What's up, Parmas? We got Sun Chaser Man, Chris Turner in Indiana. The gang is all here on a Friday night. What if I told you that a former Special Forces soldier may have uncovered technology so advanced, so dangerous, that it could change warfare as we know it? Well, tonight, we have exclusive details from Matthew Leibelsberger's Manifesto that will shake your understanding of everything you thought you knew about national security. From gravitic propulsion systems to Chinese military capabilities, what this man discovered and why he chose such a dramatic way to expose it points to something far more sinister than anyone imagined. The real question isn't why he did it, but what forces were so powerful that he felt this was his only option. Now, America, it used to be that every dollar that came off the printing press had to have a piece of gold to back it, but not anymore. In 1971, President Richard Nixon took the United States off the gold standard, and our currency has been devaluing ever since. Meanwhile, gold has been going up in value, and it's not that gold's getting expensive. It's that it requires more of your weak dollars to buy the same gold of yesterday. Just like the Cybertruck bomber warned about hidden technologies, there are hidden truths about our money system they don't want you to know. Call my friends at Global Gold Investments to receive their new 2025 Protect Your Wealth and Retirement Guide absolutely free by calling 888-700-4148. Mention Next News and receive a complimentary portfolio analysis from America's leading precious metals and retirement company. Okay, so this is crazy news today. A total twist in the story. And the Las Vegas police confirmed. They said that they do believe the manifesto being circulated by Sean Ryan was written by the bombing suspect. The manifesto mentions what he believes to be true, the true reason for the drones in New Jersey, and such as China being the ones to launch them off the East Coast. He says they're the most dangerous threat to national security that have ever existed. Now, we're going to cut to some of the highlights from the Sean Ryan podcast. But first, let's hear it from the officials themselves.
Vehicle was not. And please keep in mind, this is a very extensive investigation, so there's a lot of content for us to review and examine. We're just showing examples and samples as we get them. There's more information as we go through it. But in this video, you can see even the distinctive jacket that he is wearing in that vehicle. The other thing that's important is the sheriff mentioned yesterday that Tesla sent to us engineers to come to Las Vegas to help us extract data from the vehicle. Thanks to their support, we were able to extract an SDMI chip from the Tesla vehicle, and Tesla was able to confirm to us using the data from the vehicle that the vehicle was not in full self-driving mode at any time during this incident. Finally, the last category just to touch on is motive, which I know everyone is very eager to try to understand and be able to explain what happened. I'll reiterate what the sheriff said is we still have a large volume of data to go through and a lot of content to go through. As you know, with any one of our devices, there's thousands, if not millions, of videos and photos and documents and web history and all of those things that need to be analyzed. But with that, just as a preview for as we get information, we're trying to be as transparent as possible. There were a couple pieces of content we thought were important to share for now. One is in the note application. He seemed to have two letters. One letter in particular, as you can see here, this is an excerpt from that letter. He says, fellow service members, veterans, and all Americans, time to wake up. We are being led by weak and feckless leadership who only serve to enrich themselves. He goes on to explain a variety of other grievances and issues, some political, some personal, a variety of other things, which we will do our best to release very quickly here. But then there's a second letter where there's some more excerpts. This one seems to be dated after the fact in that notes application. And in there, you can read a couple of the excerpts. We are the United States of America, the best country, people to ever exist. But right now, we are terminally ill and headed towards collapse. This was not a terrorist attack. It was a wake-up call. Americans only pay attention to spectacles and violence. What better way to get my point across than a stunt with fireworks and explosives? Why did I personally do it now? I need to cleanse my mind of the brothers I've lost and relieve myself of the burden of the lives I took. I'd like to just also expand on that and understand that these are just excerpts in there. He does offer additional information that is varying on the spectrum in terms of political grievances, issues about the conflicts elsewhere, not here, domestic issues, societal issues, a variety of other things, including personal challenges as well. We are intending to release those initial letters so people can understand the best they can what the person's thought process was at one point in time. However, please understand there is still a lot more content to go through, and that may change. There may be a lot more information that we recover that explains either more or shows a change in mindset at different times.
So they are selectively releasing this email that was sent to, what's the guy's name? It was, sorry, I'm a little jarred right now. This guy here, Sam Shumate, who went on the Sean Ryan show. And he has an interesting theory. We're going to play that for you in a moment. But, I mean, this just threw us all for a loop today. They believe the manifesto being circulated was written by the bombing suspect. And you see, there was also another narrative that was being pushed around that he was, he had broken up with his wife and he was just brokenhearted, and his wife or something caught him cheating. So they tried to push this into some brokenhearted, that was his motive, right? But based on this email, it paints a very different story. Ashton Forbes actually brought this to my attention. Bombshell after bombshell today. Email from Matthew Livesberger claims the drones on the East Coast are utilizing gravity manipulation. It claims China and the U.S. are the only ones with anti-gravity drones like this, and that the U.S. needs to come clean about it, about their weaponization of exotic technology. If you listen to any of my reporting on the New Jersey drone situation, you'll hear me repeatedly make similar claims and even take it a step further and detail how we've been able to make plasma drones with these capabilities. I did not expect all this to happen today. I did not expect the collision of the New Jersey drones, the Chinese spy balloon, and the Cybertruck bomber all to come to a head today. But in case you're wondering what gravitaic propulsion system is, I mean, here we are. This is a patent by the United States Patent Office. And even stranger still, we find out that this guy, Matthew Livelsberger, participated in a TV reality show on the History Channel, and Inside Edition just broke this a couple hours ago.
What was he like? It's a reality show that pits teams of elite soldiers from around the world against each other.
Matt and Tim from the U.S. Army Special Forces, better known as the Green Berets.
Matthew Livelsberger and his partner Tim Kelly, both Green Berets, appeared on the Ultimate Soldier Challenge 12 years ago on the History Channel. They not only won, it wasn't even close.
You know, for television, they always try to make it a little bit more competitive, but we swept the whole entire show.
When he appeared on the show, Livelsberger used a shortened version of his name, Matt Berg. So it took Tim Kelly a while to put two and two together.
And then I saw a Matt Berg with an older photo of him, and I was like, oh no, dude, I know that guy. And then it just like tore my heart out because he was a really great Green Beret.
And what was he like?
He was charming. He was talented. He was personable. He was kind. He was all the things that you would expect from a Green Beret.
At one point during the show, Livelsberger lost his cool in the 90-plus degree heat.
I'm about to throw up, man. I got heat exhaustion, man. I need to take the off right now.
Tim Kelly says he hadn't heard from Livelsberger for a few years.
It just categorically does not make sense. From everything that I have heard, he was universally valued by his team, by his peers. I don't understand. It doesn't make sense, and it is just horrifically heartbreaking.
So, Inside Edition breaking that crazy story. Captain Joseph O'Shaughnessy, a friend of mine, posted this 3 hours ago. Breaking intel. He contacted Samasor and told him he was being followed by the feds. They wouldn't grab him because they knew he was armed with and driving with a VBIED. He told him he was going to Mexico. This would totally explain why he was driving through Las Vegas, New Mexico, because it would be on his direct route to the closest border crossing in Juarez. I'm under belief that Matt only made it to Las Vegas, New Mexico before he was intercepted, and the body found inside the vehicle in Nevada is not him due to the DNA not matching his son. So that's another twist, that there is no DNA match. And the New York Post reports Special Forces soldier Matthew Livelsberger claimed Cybertruck bombing wasn't a terror attack in a note, but a way to cleanse his mind of the brothers that he lost. David Harris Jr., the latest on the Las Vegas bomber, police recovered 2 letters that gives a clearer motive on the alleged bomber. Both letters were in the theme of a warning to America and that the country was headed towards collapse.
Excerpts. This is more important to share for now. One is in the note application. He seemed to have 2 letters. One letter in particular, as you can see here, this is an excerpt from that letter. He says, fellow service members, veterans, and all Americans, time to wake up. We are being led by weak and feckless leadership who only serve to enrich themselves.
Okay, I know you guys want to get to the point. Here is what I have cut for you from the Sean Ryan podcast. Chilling new details about the Cybertruck bomber's email. Livelsberger claimed his message would change the course of humanity, cited advanced gravitic propulsion systems, and warned of being tracked by the FBI. Let's just get right to it.
That's nothing ever like this has ever come in. But I get a, well, it started off as comments. And he said, what I'm going to send you, now these are literally his words, what I'm going to send you is going to change the course of humanity. That was his phrase, change the course of humanity. Okay, a little bit dramatic. So I give him my Proton email account, give him my signal number. And he reaches out immediately and said, like I said, this last Sunday, he said, sending with a VPN active on Wi-Fi only. That's how I ended up getting this message on Tuesday. So the message that this right here, this manifesto, if you want to call it that, came in on Tuesday. And when I started reading this, my initial take was, okay, this is off the deep end. It's bonkers. I can't validate or verify any of the stuff in this manifesto. That's the last time I talked to him. We're Friday now. That was 3 days ago.
So
the day before.
30th?
Yeah, the day before the attack. I dismissed this stuff out of hand. That was the body of his email that he sent me. And I didn't think anything about it. I didn't know who Matt Livelsberg or anything else. He told me who he was in the email. He pointed me to his LinkedIn account. It was at 8:46 a.m. yesterday. So I woke up and I said, OF, I'm shaking. This guy emailed me 2 days ago. I'm not playing. And then he said, damn. And then this was my response to him at 8:48. Like, just woke up.
Dude, I'm shaking, bro. You don't understand. This guy emailed me and told me he was being watched by the FBI and Homeland Security, but they weren't going to do anything to him because he had a VBID. I'm not flying, dude. I have the email. I am shaking, man.
Yep. So this email came in on December 31st at 10:42 a.m. That is Tuesday. He said, in case I do not make it to my decision point or onto the Mexico border, I am sending this now. Please do not release this until 1 January and keep my identity private until then. First off, I am not under duress or hostile influence or control. My first car was a 2006 black Ford Mustang V6 for verification. What we have been seeing with drones, he puts that in quotes, he says drones, is the operational use of gravitic propulsion systems powered aircraft by most recently China and the East Coast, but throughout history, the US. Only we in China have this capability. Our OPSEN, that's Operation Center, our OPSEN location for this activity is in the box below. China has been launching them from the Atlantic from submarines for years, but this activity recently has picked up. As of now, it is just a show of force, and they are using it similar to how they used the balloon for SIGINT and ISR, which are also part of the integrated comms system. There are dozens of those balloons in the air at any given time. The so what is because of the speed and stealth of these unmanned aircraft. They are the most dangerous threat to national security that has ever existed. They basically have an unlimited payload capacity and can park it over the White House if they wanted. It's checkmate. U.S. government needs to give the history of this, how we are employing it and weaponizing it, how China is employing them and what the way forward is. China is poised to attack anywhere in the East Coast. I've been followed for over a week now from likely Homeland or FBI, and they are looking to move on me and are unlikely going to let me cross into Mexico, but won't because they know I am armed and I have a massive V-bid. Let me pause right there for a second. So he says a massive V-bid. When I was talking to the FBI yesterday, they didn't know what a V-bid was. I had to explain what that acronym meant, literally.
You fucking serious?
Dead serious. I said it twice, and he goes, you said that word V-bid. Can you tell me what that is? For your audience, a V-bid, for your audience who has not been in the GWOT for the last 20 years, a V-bid is a vehicle-borne improvised explosive device. In layman's terms, a car bomb, what we saw at Trump Tower. So, backing up, he says, I am armed and have a massive V-bid. I've been trying to maintain a very visible profile and have kept my phone, and they are definitely digitally tracking me. Here's where he gets into the other stuff, and this is where we had to redact the names. Well, your producer redacted the names. I have knowledge of this program and also war crimes that were covered up during airstrikes in Nimruz province, Afghanistan in 2019 by the admin, DOD, DEA, and CIA. I conducted targeting for these strikes of over 125 buildings. 65 were struck because of civcas, that's civilian casualties, that killed hundreds of civilians in a single day. U.S. FORA continued strikes after spotting civilians on initial ISR. It was supposed to take 6 minutes and scramble all aircraft in CENTCOM. The UN basically called these war crimes, but the administration made them disappear. I was part of that cover-up with U.S. FORA, an agent, redacted, of the DEA. So I don't know if my abduction attempt is related to either. I worked with, redacted, IO staff on this as well as the response to Bala Murghab. Redacted commander at the time, redacted, can validate this. You need to elevate this to the media so we avoid a world war because this is a mutually assured destruction situation. Wow. Then he says, for vetting, my LinkedIn is Matt Berg or Matthew Livelsberger, an active duty 18 Zulu out of 110, that's 1st Battalion 10th Special Forces Group. My profile is public. I have an active TSSCI with UAP, USAP access.
What is USAP? Do you know what that is?
I don't know what that is. But I checked his credentials on LinkedIn. So that was the first thing I did. I went to his LinkedIn page. First thing I noticed was all of his bona fides were in place. He has all the UAS training from USASOC and everything else. And so I said, okay, at least the guy knows what he's talking about with drones. That was a very rough dig into the guy. But my issue was I couldn't validate or verify any of this information. And I told him that. And how I responded to him was in a subsequent email. I said, this is obviously a very big deal, but I don't have anything to verify this information with. Talking about gravitic propulsion systems without evidence just makes me another UFO talking head. Like, I'm not going to go on my social media page and start talking about UFOs and anti-gravity systems and everything. You all have heard the email now. You realize without context of who this person is, how just crazy it sounds. And I told her, I said, well, I mean, I guess if the dude ends up getting rolled up by the feds or he gets killed, we got a story, huh? Man, famous last words, right?
Yeah.
That's so I looked at, and I want to give context on one of the things. I saw this going around on social media. People were saying that his Signal chat, his safety number changed. I don't know if you saw this on X, but it was all over X. Apparently his safety number on Signal changed. He messaged me on Signal. So I went on there to look myself to see if it changed. And sure enough, it had. On January 1st, after the bombing, after he was dead, his safety number changed. That's all he sent me. He said initial contact, and I gave a thumbs up, and his safety number changed at the bottom.
Look at that.
That's after he's dead. I don't know enough about Signal to know why that would happen. Somebody has to have manipulated that, though, and messed with it. Somebody had to have been in his account after the fact and done something for that to have changed. Nothing.
Or he's not dead, right? Wow. Douglas McGregor posting this 3 hours ago. Evidence emerges that accused Cybertruck bomber Matthew Livelsberger was preparing to release evidence of U.S. government war crimes in Afghanistan. And then we have this. Remember, they were talking about the drones, New Jersey drones.
That was my reaction. One of their officers called 911 after seeing 50 of them come off the ocean. Advised after we made contact with that officer that there were 50 that came off the ocean. 50? 50. That was my reaction also. There were 50 that were coming off the ocean.
And this is a sworn officer?
A sworn officer, yes. We contacted state police, we contacted the FBI, we contacted the Coast Guard, at which point the Coast Guard went out with their boat and they reported seeing 13 following their boat. And then the Coast Guard also advised that they went over them about 300 feet and had a wingspan of about 8 feet.
You know, the Ocean County Sheriff, that drone unit, they have an industrial grade drone. They put it up. They were tracking one of these drones, Elizabeth, and they said this thing easily evaded them, disappeared out of thin air. So, you know, to me, it's if this is not our military, then it's even more scary, and we need answers, frankly. One of their officers.
We need answers. Well, do you remember that one congressman said that they were Iranian drones? Well, maybe they were Iranian drones working in concert with the Chinese. I never imagined that these two stories would collide. I never imagined that. Now, this is the theory that was presented by Sam Shumate about this Cybertruck bomber, alleged, stating he may still be alive. Listen to this.
Do you have any inside, any theories on this?
So we had a running theory downstairs. I've seen all of the conspiracies. I've seen all the questions about, all right, this guy is 20-year special forces. He just got done with team sergeant time. He is a very qualified and very capable Green Beret. Everybody I've spoken to who knew the guy prior, yesterday I spoke to several people, to include his old team leader, who's now lieutenant colonel, said he was fine. Nothing out of place. His mental state was not something that anybody was concerned about. His ex-girlfriend posted photos of him bragging about how he got a Tesla and all this other stuff. So stick with me here. Very capable guy, but he loads the Tesla up. A Tesla, which Elon Musk brags about being bulletproof, right? So this is one of his selling points, is bulletproof. We even saw Joe Rogan shoot an arrow at it and wasn't able to puncture this thing. So he loads up a Tesla knowing that it's going to, not explode like he wants it to with fireworks and a bunch of other junk, when he can make a car bomb that's going to level this place. Here's what I think. So the PAO, the Army PAO, is saying that the body inside the cab did not match the DNA of his child. All right. We also know that there was they said he was shot by a Desert Eagle. We know that there was no signature when it rolled up. So nobody shot themselves when it rolled up to it. You would have seen a large signature. Mr. Guns and Gear, he's on X. He goes into this a lot in depth. He's a firearms expert, and he talks about this, and there's no signature. So this is what happens. You get a Tesla because you know it can drive itself up to the hotel, the Trump Tower. You put a body in it, roll it up. It's already burned up, or it's already shot, excuse me. You don't want to kill anybody because that's not the message you're trying to send. You're not trying to level the tower or kill a bunch of people. So you load it up with fireworks and a bunch of junk to send a message. And we know that his signal number, or his signal safety number, changed. That can't be done unless you're inside that signal account. And a lot of people conjecture, was the FBI inside his signal account, whatever else. But what if he accidentally changed his safety number, goofed up there? He rolled a body up in a Tesla specifically because a Tesla can drive itself up to the tower, and did what he did to send a message to expose his stuff. And he's still alive out there somewhere.
Do you have any?
Think about that for a second. This totally changes the entire narrative that was slowly being drip-fed to us. Okay? They said that, he was just brokenhearted. Here's Colin Rugg a day ago. The wife of accused Trump Hotel truck bomber Matthew Livelsberger broke up with him last week, according to law enforcement sources. He was married at least twice, according to new information. A friend of his ex-wife from his other marriage. Here.
He sold a Mustang not too long ago to one of his friends.
Do you hear what she said? Mustang. That was the car that he described in the email. Okay, we're connecting these dots now. He sold the Mustang.
Yeah, and the last time I spoke to him was not too long ago. He was asking for like a tool for his car. Yeah, his wife was really nice. Like, I'm sorry.
No worries.
No, I'm just like shooken up right now because.
Did they have any kids, or was it just him and his wife?
Him and his wife, and they just had a kid.
Okay.
They just had a kid.
Do you know how recently they had a kid? Like how old?
Not too long. Yeah, okay. Very young.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Do you know how long they've lived here in Colorado Springs?
They lived here. So I have been here for 2 years now. So they've been here longer than I don't know. Exactly.
Yeah, I think his last residence was 2019 at a different address. So he might have moved in somewhere around then. These are all pretty new, so 2020 seems about right.
Yeah.
So that's part of the narrative, the broken heart narrative, but now it seems the narrative has gotten even deeper, that he was about to blow the whistle on secret government technology as well as the crimes in Afghanistan that he was a part of. Here is Yegtam Braid. The Las Vegas bomber sent emails before he died to Sean Ryan and Samasor. They are going public today with his final words. No Biden FBI burying this manifesto. Guy names names and his beefs. This interview is going to be off the charts. You need to go and see the entire, it's a 1 hour interview. I just gave you the highlight there. Scrapped all emails. SRS also received direct email from Matt Leibelsberger through our support desk. We will release the email with today's show. They asked him, how confident are you that this came from him? Well, they're pretty damn confident. Here's what OSINT Defender posted. Apparent text between Leibelsberger and his ex-girlfriend only days before his actions. Talked about how much he enjoyed his new position in the Army working on drones. Also, while talking about the Tesla Cybertruck he recently rented, how fast it was. Here are the text messages that he sent. I rented this Tesla Cybertruck. I'm building drones in my new position. You would love it. So it's got pictures of it here. Not just that, we've also got new footage released of him spotted at a Tesla charging station during his route to Las Vegas, Nevada. Spotted. Here he is charging the Tesla Cybertruck. Unbelievable. What a twist in today's reporting. This is not something I expected at all. And when Ashton Forbes posted that, I said, what did you just come across? And I was shocked. And we're trying to get him on the show right now to give us some more insight, because if there's one person that understands the technology that was disclosed in this email, it's Ashton Forbes, and he's going to help us break it down.
Thanks for having me back on. Let's talk about this crazy, insane, emails that have been sent that Sean Ryan broke today.
Yeah, Ashton, I saw your post and I was like, what the hell's going on? I was quite shocked. I dug a little deeper and found the full text of it. And I said, what are they I mean, I didn't expect this to be connected to the drones over New Jersey. That was the last thing on my bingo card today. But here we are. And then the discussion of these Chinese propulsion devices, the Afghanistan situation. What can you tell us with respect to the technology that he's referencing in this email?
Yeah, he's not talking about some just conventional drones here. When he talks about his security clearance at the end, he says TSSCI, which is top secret compartmentalized. But then he also says UAP and then USAP. And it was funny because Sean Ryan and the guy who's interviewing didn't even know what that meant. He's saying I'm in UFO programs that are unacknowledged special access programs. And he's saying these are black projects that I'm involved in. And he's a drone operator. So he's speaking from his own personal experience in this case, saying I've worked on some drones that are anti-gravity. I know anti-gravity exists. And he knows China has it as well, or probably good degree of confidence. And what I want to say too is that not everything necessarily in his letter may be 100% true. It's just you have to look at it from his perspective, from what a guy who's worked in black projects that is freaking out because he's like, we have crazy advanced technology that the world doesn't really understand or isn't potentially ready for at the moment. And how am I going to react and like protect myself, while I'm driving to Mexico, apparently.
Yeah, when I first saw it, and with the narrative that was developing with respect to the breakup with his wife, and reaching out to former lovers, the text messages, and then the talk of him having PTSD and depression, I'm wondering, well, maybe is this guy just hallucinating this stuff? Does he think he's a secret agent on a secret mission, and he's having a manic episode, and it's manifesting in this way? That's somehow sometimes maybe there's a logical reason behind it, but then of course with everything that was happening in New Jersey and these propulsion systems he's talking about, you have to draw these lines, and you have to ask the questions. So with respect to the actual technology he's talking about, okay. We go back to the New Jersey situation, you had the congressman who said that there's an Iranian mothership off the coast, and then the Pentagon comes out and says that's all BS. Well, now this guy comes out, he has a dramatic exit in front of Trump Tower in his Cybertruck. And the one thing he mentions is he's urgently talking to these guys through email, and he's saying, I need to talk to you guys. I need to go on your show. And he wanted to expose it all before the 31st. This was his message because he knew he had an exit strategy that was going to be dramatic. So, I mean, what is this technology that he's talking about? I mean, you're the expert in this, and that's why you're here. What explain it, break it down for us, please.
Yeah, I'm the orb expert. No, I think that essentially a lot of the forms of anti-gravity that are out there are reliant upon some plasma form of like mercury, or just at today's day and age, I think, like if you look at it from like a progression standpoint from even World War II to where we're at now, like they've been advancing 25 years for every year for us in terms of technology from the black world compared to like where mainstream academia is at the moment. And they've absolutely reached a point where we can, just from the molecules of hydrogen in the air, produce a plasma that will be like a bubble of energy. And, this can be a payload as well, is that this ball of energy is like a ball of lightning that you can strike down.
You know what? That's what he said in the email, is that these things have an unlimited payload. How is that even possible? He said they could park these things over the White House and it's game over. Like, how is that even possible? And how can these things not be detected if it's over the White House?
Yeah, and the detection question is a good one as well. And so with these balls of plasma, radio frequencies can't penetrate plasma if it's the wavelength is higher than I think the wavelength that's keeping the plasma stable. So they have to use quantum communications if you're going to control this with some kind of drone that's out there. But the fact of what it's doing to allow it to be able to be like a ball of lightning in just a spherical region of space is it's actually manipulating space-time itself. Is that they're actually producing a bubble in space-time, and it's maintaining the energy within that bubble that we see.
Wow.
And yeah, and then we can move it around. And the best part is that since the energy doesn't radiate outward, or at least not a significant amount, less than you can replenish, at least, then in that situation, this thing can last for a while and move around. And this is like a bomb just floating around in the sky, but just almost infinitely more powerful. And that's the scary part, is that the reason why they don't want to disclose this information to people is that people already freak out about nuclear winter. Like, this renders that like obsolete. I mean, we're talking about like everything's just kind of gone. Or what I was saying on my stream as well is that, like what Tesla said with the death ray, is that if you could just make a super powerful electromagnetic pulse that can just shut down all life within 100-mile radius, and this is shockingly devastating weaponry. And the flip side of it is that we could have things that seem unimaginable, like free energy. Star Trek replicators in our future with this type of power. So if it were to be released to us, what are the implications of something this significant? And this is what that kind of technology represents in the minds of the people that are hiding it, the people that are potentially silencing people over it. And that's what I would want people to be thinking about, because we have to figure out a way of like, okay, if there is this technology that this guy's willing to go die for, flee to Mexico for, because he's seen this firsthand, potentially he wasn't drone operator as well. I mean, the thing about it is everything about this can be verified in terms of like his credential, like what teams he was on. If that's all true, then like, was he having a psychological break? It doesn't seem likely. He was messaging his girlfriend about his old Kobe sneakers reminded him of the Cybertruck that he rented. That doesn't sound to me like a guy who's like, having a break. And even the guy, the weird guy that he was with on the reality show, this guy was with him on a reality show, and he's got a tweet about him going, does anyone who know who this guy is? It's like, dude, you were in this reality show with him? Anyway, that guy at least says, too, that he seemed like a normal guy in the video in the reality show. Doesn't seem like a guy who's like, having like a psychological break or anything like that. So, I don't know. Seems credible.
What was your initial reaction when you saw the email that was published?
Yeah, no, right away. Because I just realized a lot like I just said, I realized that like a lot of this stuff is verifiable. So, if this is real, then, it's huge. And I realized too, what I was reading, like checked out from everything that I've researched over the last 14 months in terms of how someone would react to being exposed to this technology, because you realize the massive implications too, for like, they might've been able to hide this for a long time. I mean, it's just gonna blow a hole through like a lot of what people currently, like NPC type people currently accept. And people, I don't think, really understand like how big of an impact that's going to have on the world. And just a lot of the details about like he's naming people's names. Like, these are the people I worked with, like, and the name of his first car, stuff like that, to like stuff that like to verify him. Just right away it seemed like an extremely elaborate LARP if someone were to LARP. And then once I realized that people were like checking out that this was really a letter from the guy that supposedly blew up in the car, I went, holy shit! Like, I'm running with this. Like, because if it turns out it's a LARP, it's still the greatest LARP out there.
And then in the Sean Ryan interview, they spoke about the possibility of the Cybertruck driving up by itself, a body planted inside. The signal account was updated post detonation. And I mean, if this guy's really deep in these projects and with his sophistication, it would seem plausible that he could still be alive.
Yeah, those are great points. And it was funny because I had thought the same thing about the car. I was like, it can almost certainly just be hacked into. And even if they say like, oh, they didn't turn on the auto drive. Yeah, well, he didn't turn it on from the inside. But if they're just hacking it from the outside, like, does the car even register that? I mean, we got to be like they have hacks that can air gap. Like, you can have a network that's just air gapped, and they can jump the gap, and they can actually put a virus on your computer. So there's nothing really safe from that perspective. And yeah, a lot of people speculate.
And Elon came out. Elon's like, no, it's impossible. The Cybertruck will detect if the person's alert and will ask them to put pressure on the steering wheel. But you're saying these things can all be hacked.
Yeah, I'd say that probably anything that's electronic that the CIA or NSA probably has some kind of backdoor into. Like, we learned that from Vault 7, the Vault 7 leaks, where, they have a lot of access to stuff that people, but, at the end of the day, okay, whatever. They're just theories. And, then you have to plant another body in there. That's the part I had the biggest problem with. It was like, okay, that's either him or it's not. Whether you're saying like he's burnt beyond recognition, because then I'm just like, okay, now it's even more suspicious. But what? So is this like a problem? Is this like a Jack Bauer 24 situation where he's like out in Mexico somewhere and he's going to come back and like, I don't know, needs to be rescued? Because if so, like, this guy's a real hero. I mean, if that story is true, this guy's like a real whistleblower throwing it all on the line. He knew they were chasing him, even says so in the message. I mean, I don't know. What more do people want from like help me, I'm running from the government message? I guess that's my question to you.
Yeah, it definitely is wild. And with the authorities acknowledging it, they acknowledge the two letters, two different styled letters that he had, but we don't know if they're acknowledging the specific email that he sent, but they said there were notes inside some kind of a chip that they found. Have you looked into that at all?
No, I haven't yet. It's just been a busy night, but just because I mean, it's crazy. The other thing too is that when I first posted about it, it started taking off because it was huge. And then Sean Ryan posted, and I guess he was like jealous I didn't give him enough credit or something for it. But it was just, I had just seen the post on Twitter. And it wasn't until after that I realized that that was actually the Cybertruck bomber guy. I already posted before I even knew that part. And then I saw that it was from Sean Ryan. That was supposedly from an episode that was dropping today. And I remembered that yesterday he made a post. I didn't really pay much attention to it. And I went, oh, wait, what? I was like, this is the thing. And so I was like, okay, then I made a follow up like, this is the Cybertruck bomber guy.
Right. Because I saw your post and I'm like, wait a minute. I looked at the name and I'm like, isn't that the same guy? And I'm like, and I looked it up and I'm like, wait a minute, it is the same guy. And then I saw your follow-up post where you realized that it was the same guy. So all this is wild. I have a feeling that the authorities are.
This is insane.
Yeah, I'm here for it too. And I think the authorities are going to try to downplay this. They're just going to call it conspiracy, and they're going to try to just discredit anyone who's bringing this up. But I mean, the cat's out of the bag. Pandora's box is open. That video with Sean Ryan alone, over 5 million views. Rasmussen just published that statistic. And it's going viral, and everyone's talking about it on all channels right now. And I think it's going to open up a lot of eyes. What do you think of the final implications before we go?
I didn't even know all that you just said right there because I've been live for this last time. It doesn't surprise me. I just kept saying, like, anyone in the UFO community who's not reporting on this right now, like, I would never trust them ever again. Because, like, this is just everything you could ever ask for. It, like, literally says I'm in a UFO special access program and we got anti-gravity technology and stuff going on. Like, you got to be all over this. Sean Ryan's gone into hiding. Sean Ryan went into hiding. I'm on my live stream and like Sean Ryan's posting out there. He's gone into hiding. I mean,
I just saw that.
I had to ask, was like that actually now, or was that like yesterday before he posted this? Because if it's now, the big thing was watching that Sean Ryan didn't know what UFO SAP meant. Like, it was special access program. And there's this guy who's saying, like, I have seen the secret technology. Like, no question, that's what the letter says. And Sean Ryan didn't know how big this was. Because I actually was, I love Sean Ryan. If Sean Ryan's out there, man, we should talk at some point in the future, 100%. I don't think he realized how huge this was. And yesterday, then, like, you don't sit on something this hot. You don't wait like 24 hours, check out my live thing tomorrow, right? Like, you say, check out my live stream tomorrow. This guy, literally says that the Cybertruck killer was like in the UFO special access program and saw anti-gravity technology, and we're in an arms race with China. It's just, like, too hot, bro. Like, so this guy might have been literally killed here. You're like, you having this information, puts you at risk.
Well, and now it's out. It is out, and the emails are out. The information is out, and the only thing they can do now is try to discredit the messenger. And like I said, they're gonna maybe say he just had a psychotic break and he was delusional and he was having a manic episode and his depression was getting the best of him. That's the way I see them downplaying this whole thing.
Yeah. So what's our counterplay? I guess the counterplay is they should ask Director of National Intelligence Avril Haines about the accusation that multiple people have claimed that she's the orchestrator of this UFO slow drip disclosure process, which clearly there's some process in play to acclimate the public to getting used to this idea of aliens or whatever bullshit they want us to get used to. But at the end of the day, they should just straight up come out and say Tesla was right. Free energy is possible and all around us. And we've been killing people and discrediting people and calling them crazy and conspiracy theorists and pseudoscientists when actually they were all right, probably going back like many, many, many decades. And, let us just see what happens with this, roll the dice on giving us this technology. But more importantly, maybe we just give access to all the surveillance spy shit that they have, crazy whammy footage that can just see whole cities and like zoom in right down and watch you walking your dog. Give that back to the people. Like give all this stuff, give the technology back to the people, the surveillance system back to the people, make it so that it's publicly available. Like put it on a website where we can all just go and look. Like maybe there'll be less crime if we can just solve all the crimes because we have like super secret access. Because genie's not going back in the bottle. Like this is out in the open now.
Yeah, no, it's out in the open. And what's wild is, again, I go back to the New Jersey drone coverage that we were doing for weeks. And it felt like it was like every day there was something new. The DHS was involved. They were having press briefings at local, state, and federal levels. It's almost as if it was like a precursor. And I bet you this guy was watching all of this unfold, and he's going, I know what it is, and I've got to blow the whistle. And he decided the most dramatic way, and it was a very sad way, if in fact he is no longer with us on this earth. But the fact is also consider that he could still be alive. I mean, the story's not over yet, Ashton.
Yeah. Also, even if he did, shoot himself and then blow up the car somehow afterwards, like even if he somehow did that, which I don't understand, like this could still just be a thing where it's like, hey man, my time's up. They got me. I gave all the information I could give. The world's not ready to accept this or help me. Like whatever, I'm just gonna go out. I don't know. There's a lot of different angles to it in general. Like I want more information. I want the journalist walking through his door or whatever, looking around his apartment like there was with the other guy. Like
yeah.
Can we get some of that on this guy? I want to know like everything about this dude. Like what was he into? Like this guy's message here is pretty significant if it's true. It has massive implications. Yeah. Like, so the journalist again should be asking Director of National Intelligence, Avril Haines, like what she knows about, UFO technology, alien technology, or, what potentially we know about anti-gravity technology specifically and related to drones that keep getting reported on that people are seeing, but the government's gaslighting us about it as usual.
And what's wild about this whole thing is it happened outside of Trump International, Las Vegas. And Donald Trump is about to be inaugurated as the next president of the United States. So we have this event in front of his hotel. We have this email that was delivered that has revelations about high technology and war crimes. And there's no question in my mind that Donald Trump, he has already been briefed on everything that this guy has revealed. I mean, first of all, Trump, he was previously president. I'm sure he's been read into certain programs if they let him into some of those programs. But now it is like after the millions of views, it's going to be common knowledge. And there's no way that, even Donald Trump's going to be able to, he's going to have to answer to this, and his new security team that are coming in, they're going to have to answer to this. And if the journalists who are out there who have access to these people, they need to ask those questions. So we're going to be watching this very, very closely. Ashton, thank you for taking the time to join us.
Yeah, thank you very much. Much appreciated, Gary. Have a good one.
All right, talk to you soon. All right, now the implications of Leibelsberger's manifesto are staggering. Advanced technology, government cover-ups, and warnings about China's military capabilities, all from a man who had nothing left to lose. But here is what should really keep you up at night. If even half of what he claimed is true, we're dealing with a level of technological warfare that makes everything else look like child's play. Was Leibelsberger really trying to warn us about something bigger? Something that could change the entire global power structure overnight? Leave your thoughts in the comments below. What do you think about his claims regarding gravitic propulsion systems and China's involvement with these mystery drones? Drop a comment below. Don't forget to check out our exclusive limited edition Mag Avengers collection, available now at shop.nextnewsnetwork.com. Wow, that was just crazy. That was crazy. Okay, I'm glad we got that connected. Wow, I missed the suit, Gary, says CB. Yeah. Okay, well, sorry about all the technical issues, but we got it worked out. And Brian, I'm not sure, you're gonna have to find an endpoint there to cut out all that slop. And we got more news to get to in this. You made 2 different cuts already? Okay. Let's see. Okay, you got a general idea. Okay, we got some super chats that came through. Keel for Real just became a member. What's up? And then looks like some memberships. Our Boyd gifted some memberships to Fatal Sevenfold, Mini Patriot Angel, Next Exit, Kieran Thakor, Teresa Davis. Thank you for that, R. Boyd. And Deborah also has become a member. Thank you, Deborah. Welcome to the club. And F. Joe Biden says the sheriff doesn't want to say anything until the feds tell him what to say. The major thing they haven't proved is he dead. Greetings from, let's see, this is Nikki Handley. Greetings from Ogden, Utah. Love your channel very much. Thank you. Thank you so much. And What's Truth was also given some memberships. Looks like Swede for DJT gifted, became a member and then gifted 1 membership. Thank you for that. Okay. All right. Sorry, I was the technological problems we're having just totally threw me off, and I kind of lost my train of thought. Okay, let's get on with our next topic, Brian. In what can only be described as a desperate last-minute attack on democracy itself, our republic, I should say, a New York judge has just ordered President-elect Donald Trump to appear for sentencing in the so-called hush money case. And the timing is no coincidence. Just 10 days before his historic return to the White House, they're trying one final time to humiliate the man who terrifies them most. Judge Juan Merchan, who many say should never have even overseen this case, has given Trump the option to appear either in person or virtually. But here's what they don't understand. Every attack only makes him stronger. Now, a cutting-edge 2024 study reveals that nearly half of all adults in the United States have high blood pressure. According to the CDC, only about 1 in 4 adults have their blood pressure under control, putting millions of people like you and me at risk of heart disease and stroke. With the stress of watching the relentless persecution of President Trump, it's more important than ever to take care of your heart health. That's why I started using this incredible product designed to help manage blood pressure, cholesterol, and weight. It's a triple action formula packed with clinically proven all-natural ingredients. Visit boostwithgary.com. That's boostwithgary.com. It's linked below. Take control of your health while standing strong for America. So this was some more big news today. President Trump ordered to New York by crooked Judge Juan Merchan. George Vahezi tweets. He says, sentence for the hush money trial. This is the official statement. Hereby ordered that defendant's motion to dismiss the indictment and vacate the jury verdict is denied. Is further ordered that defendant appear for sentencing following conviction on January 10th, 2025. So, you all know what happens on January 6th. Days later, they're going to drag him in front of the court again. But apparently he can appear virtually. George says here, he says it's time for the Supreme Court to intervene and put a final end to the hush money witch hunt. Alvin Bragg should be disbarred for bringing the case. He goes on to state that President Trump shouldn't dare comply with crooked Judge Juan Merchan's orders. Stay at Mar-a-Lago and see what this treasonous tyrant will do. Here is CBS News with more on that just 4 hours ago.
From today, before Donald Trump is sworn in for a second term as president, he will have to face criminal sentencing in New York City 1 week from today in his so-called hush money case. CBS's Ed O'Keefe joins us now. Ed, good evening.
Major, good evening. You know, the president-elect's legal team had argued the so-called hush money case should be tossed out because he won the presidency. But New York Judge Juan Merchan disagreed, ordering the president-elect into a courtroom next Friday, either in person or virtually, and signaling Trump won't serve time behind bars. Instead, the president-elect appears headed for what's called an unconditional discharge, meaning he'd be a convicted felon in the eyes of New York state law, but face no other court or jail time. Trump's spokesman tonight calls the ruling deeply conflicted and says Trump must be allowed to continue the presidential transition process and to execute the vital duties of the presidency unobstructed by ongoing cases. This is one of 4 state or federal criminal cases Trump has faced in recent years. The 2 federal cases have been dismissed, while a Georgia case remains on hold. Trump can still appeal the judge's decision to not dismiss the case, and of course, this means we're now one step closer to something we've never seen before. A president-elect in a courtroom facing criminal sentencing, a proceeding unlike any other in American history. Major.
Unlike any other. This is crazy. Alice says here, New York Judge Juan Merchan has ordered President-elect to appear for sentencing 10 days before his inauguration. Trump can choose to appear in person or online. He doesn't expect to impose prison sentence. Yeah. Amiri King says, well, that's how civil wars start. Judge to sentence President-elect Trump on January 10th. And here is the Trump team reacting, blasting the Manhattan DA's corrupt witch hunt, claiming acting Justice Merchan violated Supreme Court precedent, calls for dismissal of the case, labeling it a lawless attack on the Constitution, and he vows to fight these hoaxes until they are dead. Today's order by the deeply conflicted acting Justice Judge Merchan on the Manhattan DA witch hunt is a direct violation of the Supreme Court's immunity decision and other long-standing jurisprudence. This lawless case should have never have been brought, and the Constitution demands that it be immediately dismissed. President Trump must be allowed to continue the presidential transition process and to execute the vital duties of the presidency unobstructed by the remains of this or any remnants of the witch hunts. There should be no sentencing, and President Trump will continue fighting against these hoaxes until they are dead. Stephen Chung, Trump Communications Director, reacting to the ruling today. And then we have this. This was posted by Wall Street Apes. Of course, he's ordered Trump to be sentenced for 34 counts on January 10th ahead of the inauguration. Judge Merchan was never supposed to oversee Donald Trump's case. He was specifically assigned to the case to weaponize our legal system. And this is the older millennial. This guy definitely makes his rounds. Let's listen to what he has to say.
Judge Merchan, you understand there's absolutely no reason that Judge Merchan should have even had a chance to be assigned to this case? Now, I'm sure the left is just going to call this a conspiracy theory, so I'll issue a challenge to them and maybe they can tell me how he managed to be the judge. Because for these type of cases, the way it's supposed to work is that there is a panel of 24 judges, and they are all put in rotation and randomly assigned these types of cases. Judge Merchan is not on that panel. That's because he's not a judge, he's an acting judge. So even though they're trying to claim that they didn't pick the judge, that it was randomly assigned, that's not possible because Judge Merchan isn't in the pool to be randomly assigned. So the only way he could have caught this case was to be specifically assigned to it. There was no chance of him being randomly selected. And the wild thing is that according to the left and the Department of Justice, Judge Merchan was not only randomly selected to be the judge in this trial, but he was also randomly selected to be the judge in the Trump Organization case, and he was randomly selected to be the judge in the Steve Bannon case. So Judge Merchan, a judge that is not in the pool of 24 judges that is supposed to catch these cases, a judge that is not an actual judge but an acting judge, caught all 3 Trump-related cases randomly. This is a judge who gives heavily to an organization very plainly named Stop Trump, and a judge whose daughter makes tens of millions of dollars every year promoting Democrats. But yeah, I'm sure this was just a coincidence. It was a coincidence that one of the most high-profile cases ever, we didn't assign a judge, we assigned an acting judge, and that judge somehow got selected even though he wasn't in the pool of judges available to be selected, and that same judge that was selected also caught 2 other Trump-related cases in the same year, and then that judge's daughter makes tens of millions of dollars a year promoting Democrats. Yeah, I'm sure that's all a coincidence. You understand there's absolutely no reason the
all a coincidence, right? Sure. And here we have Byron Donalds. This was 12 hours ago on the January 6th committee, calling an un-American show trial weaponized versus Trump.
Congressman Donalds, I want to ask you, though, I don't know how you feel about it. I was offended that President Biden gave one of the second highest medal of honor. It's not called the Medal of Honor, but a medal honoring these two congressmen, Congressman Liz Cheney and Benny Thompson. What's your reaction to that?
My reaction is I'm highly offended, but I'm not surprised. Joe Biden and his White House have lived in the bizarro land where no other Americans really exist. That's why the presidency under Joe Biden has been an abject disaster. This is just one of the last pieces of icing on that cake. Look, everybody knows that the fake January 6th committee, the only purpose was to basically put a lot of propaganda out into the information stream to go after and attack Donald Trump. It failed, completely backfired. They suppressed information. They tampered with evidence. There's reports out there that they were actually tampering with witnesses sitting in front of that committee. Something that has frankly never happened in the halls of Congress happened with this J6 committee. So for them to be rewarded for, frankly, the lack of transparency and honesty they gave to the American people is disgusting, but why are we surprised? This is the presidency of Joe Biden, the very worst presidency in the history of our country.
The worst presidency in the history of our country. Folks, Kathy Hochul should pardon, for the good of the country, should pardon Donald Trump. But, of course, she won't, because she's gladly part of the problem. This lawfare is not going to stop. It is only going to amplify. And we're going to find out exactly what's going to happen when he goes for that sentencing and exactly what that judge is going to throw at him to see if he can put one final nail of humiliation against President Trump. All I can ask you to do is pray for this country and pray for President Trump. Now, let's be crystal clear about what we're witnessing. A politically motivated attack timed precisely to interfere with Trump's return to power. They're not even trying to hide it anymore. This is not about justice. It's about fear. Fear of Trump's return, fear of his policies, and most importantly, fear of his promise to drain the swamp once and for all. But here's what should really make you think. Why are they so desperate to strike now, just days before the inauguration? What are they afraid he's going to expose once he's back in the White House? Share your thoughts below. Is this the deep state's last stand or just the beginning of their desperate attempt to stop Trump's return? Don't forget to check out our exclusive limited edition Mag Avengers collection, available now at shop.nextnewsnetwork.com. It's linked below. Okay, Sandra D. What's up, Sandra? Good to see you here. She says, Stream Voodoo will fix all that and love the content. Thank you for the $1.99. Yes, Sandra, we need to connect you with Brian to talk about some of that technology and see just how we can implement it. We don't always have guests here. We don't always pipe people in, but eventually something that we'd like to implement when we get around to it. Okay, who else is here? We got Deb G 499 dropping a super sticker. Character looking really impressed, saying, whoa. All right, let's get to our, we're our third topic tonight. Okay, let's get it on. Now, last night we brought you breaking coverage of the devastating New Year's terror attack in New Orleans. Well, tonight what we've uncovered is even more disturbing. Basic security measures that could have prevented this tragedy were completely ignored. The L-shaped barriers that would have stopped this attack, well, they existed, but Police Chief Ann Kirkpatrick, who makes $335,000 a year, didn't even know they had them. Now 15 Americans are dead, and we've learned that the suspect's mosque is telling members not to talk to the FBI. The question isn't just how this happened, it's who's trying to cover it up. And if you're suffering from daily aches and pains, listen closely. Just like our nation is hurting from these attacks, millions of Americans are struggling with chronic pain. But there is hope. Top medical experts have unveiled a natural pain reliever that's changing lives. It's 100% drug-free Canalidine. While our security officials fail to prevent this tragedy, you don't have to fail at managing your pain. Over 1 million Americans and hundreds of professional athletes have already embraced Canalidine's pain relief power. Try the only Canalidine product in the world risk-free for 90 days at trycano.com/NNN. You have nothing to lose but your pain. Thank you for your sponsorship, Canalidine. Okay. Now, remember that whole story, before we get into what happened in New Orleans and the latest. Do you remember that story about in South Carolina where they shut down the highway because of a bomb threat? Well, now we know more about that. Let's listen.
On a detainer. First, the man accused of making a bomb threat that shut down Interstate 85 for several hours yesterday has appeared in court for the first time.
Ahmad Al-Hendi is being held at the Greenville County Detention Center on several charges. Now the solicitor is weighing in on the case. Our Ray Urena joins us live outside of the jail with more. Ray?
Solicitor Walt Wilkins called Al-Hendi's alleged actions very concerning. And Al-Hendi's legal issues are not only here with South Carolina, but with immigration and customs enforcement as well. Wearing an orange jumpsuit, Ahmad Al-Hendi was granted a more than $20,000 bond Friday morning.
And then this individual created the situation with his words and actions.
Hours after, investigators say he allegedly made a bomb threat during a routine traffic stop for a missing license plate on I-85.
The officer asked the individual, do you have anything illegal in here, like marijuana, cocaine? And he said, I have a small bomb. And then she said, what? And then he said, I have a small bomb. And this is on her body camera and in-car camera.
Al-Hendi, who lives in Oak Lawn, Illinois, is charged with breach of peace of a high and aggravated nature, conveying false information about a bomb threat, and operating an unregistered vehicle. Wilkins also says Al-Hendi is not living in the U.S. legally.
Somebody who is not here with the proper documentation, driving a tractor-trailer truck without proper documentation, those are all signs that can be compounded into a much more serious situation. Wow. We're very fortunate in this situation that it was not.
Investigators say no explosives were found in the vehicle. Jail records show Al-Hendi is being held on a detainer for immigration and customs enforcement.
All right, well, looks like the border czar has got one of his first people to pick up. Yes, sadly, 15 people lost their lives in New Orleans. And we have this. This is Maples and Connick, a personal injury law firm in New Orleans, says they will file a lawsuit on Wednesday, January 8th, for failure to implement basic safety precautions for citizens and visitors, paving the way for the attack on New Year's Day. So the lawsuits are about to hit. That's WDSU.com reporting that. And Officer Lou posts this. The Houston mosque, located very close to the house of the NOLA terrorists, is facing huge backlash for telling members not to talk with the media and refer the FBI to ISGH, the Islamic Society of Greater Houston. So this was just down the street from the New Orleans attacker. Anna Paulina Luna says, as a sitting member of the House Oversight, I have a deep distrust of the current FBI based on what I've seen regarding investigations. Regarding the NOLA and Vegas incident, I have reservations about their hastily response and conflicting info. Also, there needs to be an independent investigation into Bragg. I trust that Kash Patel will bring credibility back to the organization. So, yes, the incoming Trump team has a lot on their plate to unpack. Now, remember this video. This was the exclusive tour by Jeannie Terre of the NOLA terrorist home. And everyone's like, what the hell is this woman doing inside the guy's house, inside of a crime scene? Well, they claim they were given explicit authorization to be there. But now we're learning that, guess what? After letting a random reporter roam freely around the New Orleans attacker's home, the bomb squad has shut down the area and are returning the property. So after the crime scene supposed crime scene was potentially tampered with. Now they're locking it down a little bit too late. And we're learning this. President Biden is going to be visiting New Orleans on Monday.
Family members, so we assume that means they're going to be sitting down with some of the family members of the victims of this attack, also meeting with first responders on the ground who took immediate action New Year's Day. The president commended those in his remarks yesterday. And in that...
Commended him. Yeah, he actually was too concerned with watching the Sugar Bowl, checking his watch as he does. And it's funny that he's going to New Orleans. There's no talk of him going to Las Vegas, right? I mean, think about the optics there. Biden going to Trump International to inspect the scene where a Cybertruck was detonated, right? No, he's going to go to New Orleans instead. Let's continue here.
Remarks that the president had yesterday. He said that he's been busy since New Year's Day on this very topic, meeting with his national security team, reiterating to America that no connection as of yet has been found between the attacks in New Orleans and Las Vegas.
I've assembled the entire defense and intelligence apparatus of the country in the Situation Room, and we've been spending a lot of time there.
And while the reported suspects in both incidents were American military veterans, some critics of the president, they feel that the potential for foreign-grown terror has been ignored by open borders for years, allowing the entry of people on the terrorist watch list.
So in addition to this rather rare domestic homegrown, we do have people who very much might be planning something today and certainly have a history of terrorism.
Lawmakers also reacting to a military appeals court ruling that decided Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin could not undo a plea deal for accused 9/11 mastermind Khalid Sheikh Mohammed, saying...
Okay, now we've got some more stuff to get to. This was interesting. The city of New Orleans had L-shaped barriers that would have prevented this terror attack. But the chief didn't even know that they had them.
Barred from driving up on the sidewalks to access the road. And when the police chief was asked about these barriers and why they weren't in place Tuesday night, she said she didn't even know the city had them.
Sorry. Yellow archers, where do they come from? Actually, we have them. I didn't know about them, but we have them. And so we have been able now to... A terrorist is hell-bent on destruction. This man was going to do his best. And if it hadn't been on Bourbon, he was going to go somewhere else. So we have this. We're going to implement it. And end of story.
Yeah, she didn't even know that they had them. Amuse posting, New Orleans police superintendent didn't realize the city had yellow archers on New Year's Eve. The devices would have stopped him from killing pedestrians on Bourbon Street. And she makes $335,000 a year. Had no idea. And then there was this. This was published 9 hours ago by RNC researcher, a reporter asking, have you spoken to any of the families of the victims?
Thank you. Mr. President, have you spoken to any of the families of the victims in New Orleans?
Yes, I have.
What have they told you? What have their reflections been? Thank you. Any update on the suspects in those incidents?
Let's go, guys. Thank you. Thanks, guys, for everybody. Thank you. Thank you, guys. Enjoy that. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Okay. No more questions, please. Move along. Move along. But he's like, okay, we'll talk about it later. And then we have this. This is live from America TV. The New York Post, as we said, obtained exclusive access to the home of the suspect involved in the attacks on New Year's Day. The authorization for this access wasn't explicitly stated in public reports, but the context suggests it was likely coordinated with law enforcement or through legal means following the raid. Is this the new norm? That's the question being asked. Listen.
There's more stuff in here. It hasn't even been 48 hours, and you have the New York Post walking through the house of the terrorists. Why don't they have it taped off? Why are they not saying this is an ongoing investigation? We can't allow any of the press to come in here and just do a tour. This woman is walking through the terrorist's home as if it's a museum. Oh, look at this. They have a Quran up here. Oh, but there is one Bible down here. Let me make sure I point this out. But there's more stuff in here about the Quran. Really? And then she's walking through and she's looking and says, oh, there's a prayer rug right there. Like, it's just fascinating to walk through this guy's home and just look at how he was living. I mean, are you kidding me right now? Who authorized this? Who allowed this woman from the New York Post to just stroll through it like she's in a museum and checking up and observing everything? People, this is not normal. Y'all let me know if this is normal. I'm going to show you some of this clip. I'm going to show you some of this, and I'm also going to put it in here to where you can find the original clip too, okay? But this is amazing to see happening here. I thought the FBI was all over this. Is this the new norm? I mean, how do we know she's not going to contaminate the crime scene? Because it now is part of the crime scene, because this is his home. Make it make sense.
We are here inside the New Orleans terrorist home. You can see that it's been clearly destroyed, the door at least, from the FBI raid yesterday. But if we walk through the home, we see some signs of what he was up to. He had this work area here, lots of different chemicals splayed around, and different electronics. This is, again, a work setup. Left receipts, just very unkempt in here. If we go over here, actually, you can see the Department of Justice documents here, the search warrant, and the property that they recorded here, which seems to be a lot of chemicals. Again, just left in disarray. There's a bedroom back here, and what appears to be his collection of religious materials, his Qurans, an open Quran with a passage there, as well as even the Bible here, but mostly books on Islam, and his prayer rug just to the left of me here.
I know you want to see more content like this. Subscribe and follow. This is LFA TV. My name is Will Johnson. It hasn't even been 48 hours.
Thank you for that, Will Johnson from LFA TV. Just bizarre things happening all around this country. And we're going to continue to track all of this. Yes, as President Biden plans his trip there. So, as we follow this developing story here, the incompetence becomes more staggering with each passing hour. A police chief who didn't know about existing security measures, the mosque actively obstructing the investigation, and now personal injury law firm preparing to sue the city for failing to protect its citizens. But here's what's even more chilling. The suspect had a bomb-making station in his home and passages about martyrdom. So, what other warning signs were ignored? What other security measures are gathering dust while Americans remain vulnerable? Leave your thoughts below. Who should be held accountable for this catastrophic security failure? And don't forget to check out our exclusive limited edition Mag Avengers collection, available now at shop.nextnewsnetwork.com. Okay. All right, let's see what we got going on here. Brian, did you get my last message there on Discord? I just want to make sure we're on the same page here. Okay. Just want to just make sure that's all. Okay. All right, where are we now? We got more to get to. I feel a little disjointed today. I don't know what's going on. So much is happening here. Okay. Well, at least this next story's a little bit more positive. Okay, guys. We're getting through it. All right, Brian, let's roll. Segment 4. Oh, talk with the chat? Okay, all right. All right. Okay, let's see what you guys are saying in the chat room. All right. ER says FBI set it up. So big it's too bad to know. Fred says, hey, Gary, what's up? Mindy Patriot Angels thanking our Boyd. The drones in New Jersey are young, rich kids in the new Jetson, one personal flyer. Yeah, sure. The New York Times hasn't told the truth in years. Government mouthpiece. DB, you want to see the gold necklace? Okay, here it is. Here's the gold necklace. There you go. You want to see it? There's the chain. You got it? There it is. Okay. This was a gift from my wife a couple years back. You happy? Sean Ryan podcast BLE. Is it still up? I hope so. Let's see, Sean Ryan. Did they nuke it? Let's see. No, it's still there. Cybertruck bomber, still there. Okay. All right. Okay. Put the chain away. We got work to do. Okay. I guess you're ready. Yes, Brian? That's what the screen means? You're ready? All right, Patriots, what you're about to hear proves what we've been saying all along. Trump's influence extends far beyond our borders. In a stunning development, Mexico's president has completely reversed course, now agreeing to serve as a deportation hub for migrants, including non-Mexicans. But that's not all. Greenland's prime minister just called for independence from Denmark right after Trump renewed his interest in the territory. And while Honduras threatens to expel U.S. military bases, seasoned observers know a bluff when they see one. The global chess pieces are moving, and Trump hasn't even retaken office yet. Now, folks, you all know that the cost of food has skyrocketed. With these global shifts in Trump's favor, we're seeing how interconnected the world really is. Just like international cooperation is crucial, so is our natural food chain and the importance of our bee population in maintaining it. The Patriots at Patriot Bee Best understand this critical issue and have created an educational online digest to solve the challenges facing American bees. For less than 17 cents a day, you can support this American veteran-owned business and help preserve our food security. Visit patriotbeebest.com now. Use promo code NEXTNEWS for 25% off your subscription. Okay, so here it is. Mexico's president caving into Trump's deportation plan after opposing it. She now declares Mexico will serve as a deportation hub for migrants, including non-Mexicans. This shift solidifies Trump's strategy and redefines the U.S.-Mexico dynamic. Here she is. Now, I want to point out that we did run this through a system that translates the voice so you can actually hear what she says.
President Trump has talked about mass deportations. Of course, we do not agree with that, and that's why we always defend. We are not in favor of these deportations, but if they do happen, because not everything depends on what we decide, we will welcome the Mexican men and women who arrive in our country. And we will request the U.S. to, as much as possible, send migrants who are not from Mexico back to their countries of origin. And if not, we can collaborate through various mechanisms. There will be a time to talk with the U.S. government if these deportations really happen, but we will welcome them here, and we will welcome them, and we have a plan that I said yesterday we would present at the right time.
Oh, Mexico realizes there is a new boss in town. Byron Donalds, what's about to happen in Washington is something you haven't seen in a while. President who already did the job well. A Congress ready to pass his agenda. We have a serious mess to clean up, a mandate to fix. The team is now in place, and we're going to move quickly.
Senate
What we're going into right now is with now President Trump going to be inaugurated, frankly, in about a little over a week and a half, is you're going to see something in Washington you probably haven't seen much before. You have a chief executive who clearly knows what needs to occur in that job. And also you have a Congress, both House and Senate, that is committed to that agenda. So I anticipate we're going to move very, very fast. We're going to be working with President Trump and his White House team here in the House, as well as the Senate, in order to get that accomplished.
Oh, it's happening, friends. Here's Greenland's prime minister calling for independence from Denmark as Donald Trump ramps up his calls for acquiring the territory. Listen to this.
Here in Greenland, we need to have some growth. We need to have some economic growth and diversify our economy. And of course, we welcome our strong partners, like-minded nations as first. But if they don't invest, there's a lot of companies who also want to invest in this country.
Donald Trump's ready to invest. He's about to pay cash. Here is Brick Suit with his hat. Make Greenland great again. ALX posting this headline from The Hill. Greenland Prime Minister announced a desire to obtain independence from Denmark in the wake of President-elect Trump's comments about buying the island territory. The Hill publishing this. Greenland leader calls for independence from Denmark as Trump enters. Who would have thought? I mean, they're like, you know what? Yeah, sounds like a good idea. We want to be part of the United States, so let's enter into negotiations. And then we have this is from the Honduran president. Throws down the gauntlet to Trump. She's threatening to kick U.S. military bases out of Honduras if Trump follows through on deporting Honduran nationals. A stunning power play. Will Trump take the bait or call her bluff? Here's this.
Not take on Honduran people. I want to express that we hope the new U.S. administration of the democratically elected president, Donald Trump, will be open to constructive and friendly dialogue and not take unnecessary reprisals against our migrants in the face of a hostile attitude of mass expulsion of our brothers. We would have to consider a change in our cooperation policies with the U.S., especially in the military field, where without paying a cent for decades, they maintain military bases on our territory, which in this case would lose all reason to exist in Honduras.
Is that what you're going to go ahead and kick out the U.S. military? Let's see here. This was posted, U.S. foreign assistance by country, Honduras. At a glance, this is the foreign aid we send to Honduras. $194 billion. That goes to Honduras. Lynn responded to this. Trump should cut off all aid and drop every South American criminal on her doorstep, not just the Hondurans. And Sporkus says the Honduran people will lose. We leave. No base business, plus we drop them off anyway. That part is easy. And the Patriot Voice made this point today, tweeting at Real Donald Trump. Real Donald Trump should get loud about removing America from the UN and the WEF in every capacity. We cannot make America great again without cutting off the globalist roundtable groups forever. And he was quote tweeting Ann Vandersteel. I think Trump should start talking about defunding the UN just to add some more gasoline on the fire. You pull out of the UN and a lot of our problems in this country stop immediately. Now, if I recall, during the first administration, those conversations were being had and the UN took notice. Stephen Miller, he says it's going to be hilarious when Greenland is granted statehood before D.C. and Puerto Rico. Oh boy. Greenland leader calls for independence from Denmark in the wake of Trump's recent comments. And as we look forward to the new Trump administration and the inauguration of President Trump, we have this from RFK Jr., who is going to be in the administration. I'm sure he's going to have a hell of a nomination process. But he revealed that Trump's DOJ will unleash RICO to expose collusion between medical boards, journals, and big pharma, the same collusion that fired good doctors. The medical tyrants are panicking because accountability is coming. He made these remarks at Turning Point Action. Let's listen.
My initial inclination would be to use the Justice Department and the moral authority of the office, but also, the Justice Department should immediately call in begin an investigation of the medical boards and the collusion between the pharmaceutical industry and the medical boards that are delicensing these physicians who actually try to heal patients and try to treat them. The Justice Department will also call in the medical journals that are corrupted by the pharmaceutical industry and explain to them that they're all going to be subject to criminal and civil RICO actions if they don't show us a way that they're going to stop revoking studies and refusing to publish studies that challenge the mercantile interests of pharmaceutical companies. We're going to change the way business is done at NIH.
Oh, yeah. Bring it on. And then we're finding out this. Apple CEO Tim Cook is reportedly donating $1 million to Trump's inaugural committee. That's according to Axios 7 hours ago. And speaking of Apple, this happened. Apple has agreed to pay, did you know this? $95 million to settle a lawsuit accusing the company of using Siri to eavesdrop on conversations on iPhones, iPads, and other devices, according to a proposed settlement filed in federal court in Oakland, California. So you know those, when you're talking on your phone and all of a sudden, like you start seeing those ads pop up in your news feeds? Yeah, they are listening, folks. And now Apple is paying the price, and Tim Cook is paying the price as well, donating $1 million to the inaugural committee. And the other question, given all the things that are happening in the country right now, question being raised is Biden giving Trump proper intel that he needs and should be provided by law? Here is Corinne Jean-Pierre at the White House.
President Trump had communicated on his social media some inaccurate information related to New Orleans early on. Is the president at all concerned about the flow of information and briefing and access to whatever intelligence or whatever he might need in terms of this transition? Is he comfortable with the information flow to the president-elect on matters like this?
I mean, look, and I'm actually glad you asked this question, because one of the things that you all do as a journalist body is that you were able to fact check and say that what was stated by the president-elect was simply false. And I think that is important, right? Which is why we respect the hard work that all of you do. As it relates to the president and the information that he gets, obviously that's something for ODNI if it's related to intelligence and specific information in that nature. I'm not going to speculate beyond that, and I'm just going to leave it there.
President Trump had communicated.
Right? Well, do you remember what Jim Acosta had to say the other day about the false remarks? Well, he got taken to task for those remarks, for him spreading fake news as well. So, look, what's happening? Mexico caving to Trump's immigration policies. Greenland moves towards independence, and world leaders are already repositioning themselves for his return. But here's what the mainstream media won't tell you. This isn't just about Trump. It's about America reclaiming its rightful place as the world's leading superpower. When Trump speaks, world leaders listen. When he makes demands, nations comply. So the question is, are we witnessing the beginning of a Trump world order? One where America's interests finally come first? Share your thoughts below. What other countries will fall in line once Trump returns to office? Don't forget to check out our exclusive limited edition Mag Avengers collection, available now at shop.nextnewsnetwork.com. Woo! Rock and roll, man. I was trying to find that clip, but I didn't have enough time to squeeze it in. Oh, anyway, let's see what you guys are saying here in the chat room real quick. Jumping down. Okay. It's clear KGP is going, says David. Her head looks like Barkley, the dog from Sesame Street. Oh boy. The guy in the truck was a high-level Green Beret operative trying to expose UAP anti-gravity machines. Yes, StoryCorps, we just covered that. Unbelievable Total twist. Didn't expect that coming today. Bye, Jean Mop Pierre. Is Trump president now? He might as well be. Fred, I saw that. China declares emergency on illness from the bird flu. Nice start of 2025. We covered that the other day. And yes, we're tracking that in the background. Behold, Bob S. says, or bot, hi, hey, if this is real Gary, should stream all night, he says. Oh, really? You want me to stream all night? Okay, sure. Brand 7, word soup. I can't stand her. What was that? Oh, my goodness. Oh, boy. Yeah, I cannot wait to see what happens in the next administration in that press room. Okay. We've got a lot to unpack in this next segment. And where do we begin? We got the speaker's remarks. Maybe we start with Matt Gaetz. That was an interesting... Yeah, maybe we start with that. And then we've got Kamala, her remarks, all these things. Okay. What just happened in Congress is nothing short of extraordinary. After a few critical phone calls from President Trump himself, Mike Johnson has secured his position as Speaker of the House. We're talking about direct intervention from the soon-to-be president that changed votes and solidified leadership. Congressman Keith Self confirmed a lively discussion with Trump that ultimately convinced him to support Johnson. But here's what's really interesting. Johnson's first move was to make it harder to remove him, raising the threshold from 1 member to 9 for a motion to vacate. The deep state's terrified, and they should be. Now, electricity bills are skyrocketing, and with political power shifts we are seeing in Washington, it's time to take control of your household power too. The deep state bureaucrats want control over every aspect of your life, including your energy usage. That's why I'm excited to share this amazing innovation that helps you fight back by taking control of your power consumption. This device works by stabilizing your electricity flow and reducing waste, just like Trump is helping stabilize Congress. And for a limited time, you can grab yours at up to 50% off during their New Year's special. Visit don'twastepower.com to claim this incredible offer while supplies last. Okay, so the action in Congress was really interesting, and they had some things they had to work through regarding Matt Gaetz's resignation. And when it was entered into the record, applause and groans. Listen
indicating that the clerk is in receipt of a letter from the Honorable Matt Gaetz of the state of Florida, indicating that he will not serve in the House in the 119th Congress. Without objection, the letters relating to his resignation will be printed in the record.
So there you heard the groans. But now, Matt Gaetz, if you didn't know, he now has his own show on One America News. And this was a teaser he did.
Representatives Lauren Boebert. Tonight on the Matt Gaetz Show, the battle for the gavel is heating up with a group of GOP holdouts putting a snag in Speaker Mike Johnson's plans. We'll have Representatives Lauren Boebert, Thomas Massie, and Victoria Spartz on to discuss what they expect.
Now, Matt Gaetz got roasted for that. Most people were pointing out his makeup. But for me, you know, as I watched it, I said to myself, this guy needs to be on the House floor kicking ass, not wondering if he sold his last take. You know, I love Matt Gaetz. I know he's a very effective legislator. But that's where we want to see him. You know, I was excited when he was going to go to become, when he was nominated for the Attorney General position. And I wish him all the best. I really do. You know, he is an effective voice, but I would much rather see him on the House or the Senate floor. I know you guys agree with me. Now, this also, Hakeem Jeffries has lost 20 consecutive votes for Speaker of the House, a world record. And this is it. Mike Johnson securing 218 votes to be reelected.
For spending a minute with us. The House is back in session.
Of which the Honorable Mike Johnson of the state of Louisiana has received 218. The Honorable Hakeem Jeffries of the state of New York has received 215. And the Honorable Tom Emmer of the state of Minnesota has received 1.
Okay. We got some more here. This was an interesting moment. The House erupted during the Speaker vote as the delegate from the Virgin Islands, visibly frustrated, questioned the exclusion of U.S. territories and D.C. from voting.
Guam.
For what purpose does the gentlelady from the Virgin Islands seek recognition?
Speaker, I have a parliamentary inquiry. I note that the names of the representatives from the Americas Samoa, Guam, Northern Mariana, Puerto Rico, the Virgin Islands, and the District of Columbia were not called, representing collectively 4 million Americans. Mr. Speaker, collectively the largest per capita of veterans in this country.
Does the gentlelady have a parliamentary
I asked why they were not called. Have some respect. It's not going to take
drama.
Gentlelady is recognized.
I asked why they were not called from the parliamentarian, please.
Delegates-elect and the resident commissioner-elect are not qualified to vote. Representatives-elect are the only individuals qualified to vote in the election of a speaker. As provided in Section 36 of the House Rules and Manual, the speaker is elected by a majority of the members-elect voting by surname.
This body and this nation has a territories and a colonies problem. What was supposed to be temporary has now effectively become permanent. We must do something about this problem so that these 4 million.
Now, of course, you're hearing the applause from the Democrats because they want all of those territories. They want them in their stable so that they can have more votes. That's really what it comes down to. Here's Tim Young posting this. This is Ted Cruz getting sworn in by Kamala Harris. He points out Kamala looks miserable.
Congratulations to you. Good to see you. Hi. Remember Heidi? Of course. Oh, good.
You want the yeah, here, come on.
Caroline. Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you, girl. You ready? Well, it actually just right. No, it worked out quite well for us. Okay. Left hand on the Bible, right hand up. Do you solemnly swear that you will support and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic, that you will bear true faith and allegiance to the same, that you take this obligation freely without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion, and that you will well and faithfully discharge the duties of the office upon which you are about to enter, so help you God. Congratulations. Congratulations. Do you guys can move back just a little bit again. Should we keep the text?
You're going through the motions there, Kamala.
All right, ready? 1, 2, okay.
Going through the motions. Oh, and there was this moment today. Kamala screwing up the Pledge of Allegiance on the Senate floor. Did you see this?
States of America. Join me in pledging allegiance to our flag. I pledge allegiance to the United States of America and to the pledge allegiance to the United States.
Pledge allegiance to the United States. She totally skipped that part. And then there was also this dramatic moment. Fox News, Chad Pergam reports that House Education Committee Chair Virginia Fox fell on one of the grand staircases at the GOP, on the GOP side of the chamber between the second and third floor. And she was bleeding and being attended to by Capital Medical. We're hearing reports, though, that she is fine. And this from National File. Mike Johnson's first act as U.S. House Speaker in the 119th Congress adopt Nancy Pelosi's House rule for motion to vacate, and Speaker Johnson took Nancy's rule and made it worse. Thomas Jefferson's rule, 1 member to file. Nancy Pelosi's rule, 5 members to file. Mike Johnson's rule, 9 members to file. And here it is, adopting the rules for the causation to vacate the office of Speaker. So he is really digging in because he knows that there is opposition. But then we have this. Congressman Keith Self confirmed he spoke to Trump, and they had a lively discussion, which ultimately convinced him to vote. President Trump called and convinced Ralph Norman and Keith Self to let Mike Johnson remain Speaker. The two Republicans changed their vote only after speaking to Trump. Mike Johnson owes his victory entirely to President Trump. Here's the moment when all members of the House were sworn into office. Now, I'm going to present to you some of the parts of the speech that Johnson gave, and I hope that it will give you hope. But here is the members of Congress being sworn in.
And that you will well and faithfully discharge the duties of the office on which you're about to enter, so help you God. Thank you. Congratulations, you are now members of the 119th Congress.
So the 119th Congress is in play. Here's the moment the Speaker's gavel was handed over. And here we have this. Mike Johnson just promised to implement President Trump's tax policies.
Tax cuts. We can fight high inflation, and we must. We'll give relief to Americans, and we'll extend the Trump tax cuts.
And then there was this about parents and families must be in charge of their children's education.
Simple truth that it is parents and families and not administrators that must be in charge of their children's education.
And then this.
Status quo, and we will end this Congress will renounce the status quo, and we will listen to the voices of the people. We will act quickly, and we will start by defending our nation's borders. That's the number one priority. Yes. In coordination with President Trump, this Congress will give our border and immigration enforcement agents the resources that they need to do their job. We will secure the border, we will deport dangerous, criminal, illegal aliens, and finally finish building the border wall.
Wow. You are witnessing history in the making, my friends. What else have we got here? Mike Johnson, he said, oh, this is good. Just announced, this is from Behazy Tweets, just announced that Congress will immediately move to pass legislation to shut down the federal bureaucracies. Oh, he says 0 Democrats look happy to hear that. Listen.
We're going to draft, and as heirs to the American Revolution and the descendants of patriots who defied tyranny, in the coming months, we are going to pass legislation to roll back the totalitarian fourth branch of government known as the administrative state.
Wow.
We're going to drastically cut back the size and scope of government. We're going to return the power back to the people. And in coordination with President Trump and his administration, we are going to create a leaner, faster, and more efficient federal workforce. We need to do that. Our people do not deserve to be ruled by millions of bureaucrats they've never voted for, never met, and can never hold accountable. They deserve a government that is led by those they've elected to lead. That is how Article 1 is supposed to work. That was the idea of the Congress, and we will return to that principle. The American people have called on us to reject business as usual and throw out the status quo. We must and we will heed their call.
Amen. That's good news. I think he's referring to the Doge there. Donald Trump posted this on Truth Social. Congratulations to Speaker Mike Johnson for receiving an unprecedented vote of confidence in Congress. Mike will be a great speaker, and our country will be the beneficiary. The people of America have waited 4 years for common sense, strength, and leadership, and they will get it. But this whole thing here, the Mike Johnson rule, yeah, that's pretty wild. 9 members to file a causation of vacancy. He is definitely trying to hold it in. Oh, but then, did you hear that? Oh, goodness. Oh, boy. How could I forget this clip? Oh, man. Here's Hakeem Jeffries. Listen closely. He says, "We will fart hard for the freedom to vote."
We will fight hard for the American dream possible. We will fight hard for the freedom to vote. The American dream possible. We will fight hard for the freedom to vote. The American dream possible. We will fight hard for the freedom to vote.
We will fart hard for the freedom to vote. Oh, we got it all here. I think we have Ted Cruz and Gates. Oh, here's J.D. Vance. Starts laughing while Vice President Kamala Harris is swearing in the new U.S. senators.
Discharge. Do you solemnly swear that you will support and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic, that you will bear true faith and allegiance to the same, that you take this obligation freely, without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion, and that you will well and faithfully discharge the duties of the office upon which you are about to enter, so help you God?
I do.
J.D. Vance laughing because he knows that that is his job, and it is all coming to fruition. So, let's be absolutely clear about what we just witnessed. Trump's influence remains unmatched even before his return to the White House. With just a few phone calls, he reshaped the leadership of Congress. Johnson's already promising to implement Trump's tax policies and declaring border security a top priority. The message couldn't be clearer. The Trump era has officially begun. But here is what everyone should be asking. With the Speaker's gavel secured and Trump's return just days away, what other major changes are coming to Washington? So leave your thoughts below. Is this the beginning of the greatest political transformation in American history? And don't forget to check out our exclusive limited edition Mag Avengers collection, available now at shop.nextnewsnetwork.com. All right, let's check in with the chat and see what you guys are saying here. Lizard Bass. This country is probably going to end up like Panama in the Panem in the Hunger Games, with districts of slaves. You know, I've never watched Hunger Games. I think I saw one of the movies. Never really took to that one. Jose Navarro says, "Let the backstabbing begin." And looks like Resto is out. Looks like we lost some of our moderators. I'm Siler says, "I'm going to cook some collard greens in the bathtub." Oh, I know what you're talking about. "I'm a person who knows the stock is food," says DB. Let's see. Liz said Trump means no more elections. It will be the fault of the left if that ever happened. They are a despicable criminal cabal running the government. Pieces of crud. JD laughing. Fully remembered that. Fart hard. Got it. Fart away. Someone dared him to say fart in his speech. Oh my goodness. Show a close-up of his face. It tells the story. Brand 47, fart hard. Oh my goodness. Scott Edwards hates slow mode. I'm not sure what's going on in the chat. I've been seeing some of your messages. You guys are having some issues. Let's take a look at what's happening currently in the feed before we jump out. Let's see. Catholics for Catholics. What is being said here? Brian, I think I can pull up this here, X feed and chat. Here it is. Okay. All right. Jack Posobiec 12 seconds ago says Archbishop Gustavo should step down. Quote tweeting Catholics for Catholics. Dear Catholic Archbishop of San Antonio, we beg you to quickly recant what you said, linking Donald Trump's words to the tragedy in New Orleans. Your words have caused great scandal to many. Real Donald Trump is in no way responsible for this terrorist attack. Oh my goodness. Did he really say that? God. What's this? Hung Wee. Red Eagle Politics. I had a little patience for stupid people in 2024, even less patience for stupid people in 2025. Community notes. What's this about? 2 minutes ago, Elijah Schaefer. I grew up admiring Alex. Now he has controlled opposition. I guess 20 years of fighting can make you that. Let's see, what is he saying here? In defense of Alex, they ruined his entire life. That lawsuit ruined him financially for life. They even tried to take away his ability to earn a living to feed his kids. I know Musk is somehow involved in helping him not be homeless. Many of you would compromise to save your family too. Have some grace here, please. He's in a very difficult position. We pray for Alex. Pray for him. Let's see. Is there any more on what happened with Sean Ryan? Let's see. Let's see here. Oh, here's One America News. Let's see what Mr. Santos gives Matt Gaetz a makeup tutorial and suggestions on where to go shopping for cosmetics. Oh, goodness.
But I have deep... George.
Yeah, see, he was getting roasted for his makeup.
George, what was going on with my makeup? Help me. Give me advice.
Matt Gaetz, let me tell you something. Highlighter is not for you. Stop highlighting the center of your face. It makes your eye very small, and it gives you the glow. Not the glow you think it gives you. But
I have deep-set eyes, George. How do I fix the deep-set eyes?
Look at the flawlessness in my skin. No highlighter needed.
Oh,
you're a Florida man.
Really?
I'm in Florida right now. When you're tan and you're a Florida man, you don't need that level of highlighter. Here's my honest advice for you, Gaetz. Here's what you need to do, Matt. You need to go buy yourself Double Wear Foundation from Estee Lauder. Ambassador Ron Lauder would love to see that we're advertising.
This is where we're at now with Matt Gaetz getting makeup.
It's definitely the best thing for us who do TV, so that we look normal and we don't look like. I'm sorry.
Oh boy. Julie Grace, maybe the most unexpected political content of the day. 2 hours ago, posted by One America News. 5,000 hits on that post. Larry Elder posting 5 minutes ago, Biden gives the Presidential Citizens Medal to Liz Cheney and Benny Thompson, but not Daniel Penny. It's tough out there for white males, he says. What's this? Mr. Santos gives Matt Gaetz more of that. Oh my goodness. The Navy intel officer arguing with Army intel about who two CIA contractors said about Fort Bragg sleeper agent screaming about Chinese Mexican drones. What? Oh boy. North African asylum seekers recorded a message for Italians on New Year's Eve. Wow. 2 hours ago, incoming White House Deputy Chief of Staff, Stephen Miller.
Watching us at home, Donald Trump, again, he announced that federal workers are going to go back to the office because they work for you. Everyone watching us at home tonight, they work for you. Those federal workers, you pay their salaries. They need to show up at an office. And again, Donald Trump's going to rip up those agreements that allows those workers to work from home, although we all know what the federal workers are really doing is just absolutely nothing at best. At worst, they're working against you and your family and your security. And he's going to say that you have to get back into the office. And he's also going to say that workers who've betrayed the trust of the American people are going to be fired. And in cases where they violated the rights and liberties of the American people, they're going to face accountability. They are going to face justice. We are going to restore representative government and democracy in this country. And it's going to be a beautiful thing because Americans want control of their country again. And by voting for Donald Trump in this historic landslide, by giving him this historic mandate, the popular vote, the electoral college vote, by a vast margin, winning almost every demographic in this country. What they voted for is for Donald Trump to come into office, to open up an American energy, to defeat inflation, to eradicate criminal cartels, to seal the border shut, to send the criminal aliens home, to make government accountable to the people again, to get so-called DEI and racism out of government, to get the economy going, and to keep jobs here in this country by finally stopping the outsourcing and offshoring of American wealth. And all of those things are going to happen, and there's nothing in the world the angry, crazy Marxist radical left can do to stop it. Donald Trump, again, he announced that...
Stephen Miller. Kicking butt. All right. Patriots, what we witnessed tonight isn't just news, it's history unfolding before our eyes. From the chilling revelations in the Cybertruck bombers' manifesto exposing advanced technology and government secrets to the latest developments in the New Orleans events, where basic security measures were inexplicably ignored, we've seen a desperate last-minute attack on President Trump with this politically motivated sentencing hearing, while simultaneously watching his influence reshape global politics as Mexico caves to his immigration policies and Greenland moves towards independence. And in Washington, we watched Trump's direct intervention secure Mike Johnson's position as Speaker, proving his power remains unmatched. But let's be honest about something. Bringing you this kind of unfiltered truth isn't easy. The powers that be would love nothing more than to silence voices like ours, and that's exactly why we need your support now more than ever. Your donations through the links in our description help us keep shining a light on the stories they want to keep hidden. Every contribution, no matter the size, helps us maintain our independence and continue to bring you the real news. And speaking of support, I want to personally thank everyone who sent in super chats and Rumble rants tonight. Your engagement and contributions make this show what it is. You are not just viewers, you're part of a movement that's fighting for truth in an era of mainstream media deception. And to everyone watching, I need you to do something right now. Make sure you tell a friend about what you have learned tonight. Share this broadcast. The algorithms might try to suppress us, but they can't stop person-to-person communication. The truth spreads one conversation at a time. We are just 17 days away from Donald Trump's historic return to the White House, and the deep state's in panic mode. You can see it in their desperate actions, their last-minute legal maneuvers, their attempts to maintain control as it slips through their fingers. But together, we are going to keep exposing their lies, revealing their schemes, and showing America what is really happening behind the scenes. For those who want to wear their patriotism proudly, we have dropped our exclusive limited edition MAG Avengers collection at shop.nextnewsnetwork.com. Not just merch, it is a statement that you stand with real news. So, there will be another battle that we will fight in the weeks ahead, but you can bet we will be here to bring it to you unfiltered and uncensored. Until then, stay vigilant, stay informed, and remember, they're not just afraid of us knowing the truth, they are terrified of us spreading it. This has been The Raw Feed. I'm Gary Franchi. God bless you, and God bless America, and have a wonderful weekend.